Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's review is from the house of Heeley, British or UK brand, perfumer, owner of the brand, James Heeley. This one is from 2008 and we're sampling or testing or reviewing Marin. Let's get straight into it. Heeley have released quite a few, sort of critically acclaimed fragrances. I think this one is one of them, the other one being one of the top mint-based fragrances, Montfresh and a few others. And I've tried a few of those. None up until now quite grabbed me. Marin is a strange one, right? So I'm not generally a fan of aquatics or marine scents. I probably like marine more than fresh aquatic, if that makes sense. Marin, as its name would suggest, it translates to I think salt water or salt sea. And here is another example of when you read a note pyramid for a particular fragrance, it can actually discourage you from wanting to try it. And this is the case with this one, this Marin. This is an official sample, by the way, and I received this as part of a bundle of samples that someone had sent me, and obviously when I got this, it was the middle of summer, so I have worn it in warmer weather. We're in the middle of winter now, but it smells the same. But it did work as a scent in the warmer weather. I'll get onto what I'm actually smelling because it actually surprised me, this one. I'm just going to spray the opening on here. Look, in perfectly kind of straightforward opening citruses, I mainly get a lemon note here. Nothing too sweet, but immediately my nose kind of does pick up this slight saltiness. So it's like, look, I know when I was a kid, for some reason what I used to love was eating lemon wedges with a sprinkle of salt on them in the summer, and it was just I found it so refreshing. And that lemon kind of reminds me of that experience. But like 5-10 minutes into this scent, the citruses go, so they burn off reasonably quickly. And it took me a while to work out what I was smelling because it was very familiar, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was that I was smelling. And then I realized that this was almost, there was definitely a saltiness, okay, but it's underpinned by an almost sweet greenness, if I could call it that. I will make some assumptions and say, I guess this is what the algae accord is that I'm smelling here. But what I basically smell is like a salty surface with with vegetation that's kind of has a sweet aspect to it, but it's still green. Okay, I don't know how to describe. I'm not doing it justice to what I'm smelling, but then I couldn't remember what it was reminding me of. And I only really experienced this for the first time last year. Now, in Australia, if you go to the beach, pretty much wherever you are, you would expect that it is, a standard sandy beach and the ocean. But I know last year when I was in Italy, we went to a beach which was mainly a rocky shoreline, and it does have a different kind of smell about it, and this is what it reminded me of. Now, I am gonna take some liberties here and suggest that, given this is a UK house, I know from a lot of pictures I've seen there are a lot of beaches in the UK which are pebbles instead of sand, and so that rock and water, salt water smell is what I'm smelling. It's different to a sandy beach, and I really, really like it, and especially in warmer weather, I really, really enjoy it. Now, some people I mean, I've been told that some people who smelled it don't like this because there's a distinctive seaweed note. Now, I guess that greeny, salty stuff that I was smelling could be seaweed to someone else, but to me, it's not unpleasant at all. That particular smell. So I really enjoyed wearing Marin, especially when it's hot. I mean, I guess it's made for warmer weather, the summer. It's not your stock standard freshie. Look, I never expect anything like this to perform very well, but I was pleasantly surprised that I got on good days upwards of between 4 and 6 hours. So, and look, that's pleasant surprise for me, that performance. However, Heeley is a niche brand and it's not exactly a cheap fragrance, but I would also say that there's not really a marine / aquatic fragrance out there quite like this. And when it does dry down, there is a gorgeous sun-dried, salt-crusted woodiness in the base, which just warms everything up. It's a lovely composition. I think it's really nicely blended, and if you like that style of fragrance, that genre of fragrance, definitely worth checking this out. Like, I will even go as far to say that, this is kind of more exciting for me to wear than, say, the very popular Pacific Rock Moss from Goldfield and Banks. They're different fragrances, but they're kind of aiming for the same thing. Salt-crusted rocks on the lapping waves of the Mediterranean. It's really nice, and that's my review. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later on. Bye.